from Rob Long's with us. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Scott. It's funny, you and I worked together on radio for 9 years. It's the first time we've done a broadcast and telecast together. Listen, we talked about the Orioles charity efforts. Last night I had a chance to MC the athletes and artists who play for kids. That was a great event. We're going to take a look back at that, as well as talk to the First Lady of our great state of Maryland, Mrs. Hogan. And I'll get to chase around some players and try to get some interviews like Chris Davis. Guys, I got to make it look like I'm doing some work, because if I smile too much, they may actually make me go to work.
It's good to have you, Rob.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Enjoying the sunshine in Sarasota. Let's take a look at the lineups. Here's how the Yankees lined up. DJ LeMahieu leads off. They got some top-line players at the top of the order. Luke Voigt, who had a big year at first base for him. And then, of course, the Oriole killer, Gleyber Torres. He's at shortstop today. Higashoka is behind the plate. Chris Giddings is the DH. Rosell Herrera is at third base. Estevan Florial in center field. Trey Amberge in left, and Thomas Malone in right for the Yankees.
Now let's take a look at Cole Stewart. His season last year with Minnesota, up and down with the big club. Most of his time obviously spent in the minor leagues, but 9 games, 2 starts, 2-2 earned run average, 6.39 earned run average. Gave up to 29 hits in his 25 1/3 innings of work, and pretty even with the strikeout and walk ratio. Cole Stewart, a pretty impressive arm though here in camp. This will be the first real look at him. He's done a lot of backfield throwing. Former first-round pick of the Minnesota Twins back in 2013. Good fastball, low 90s with that pitch. Has a hard slider, curveball, and an occasional change to go along with it.
Yeah, and Brandon Hyde before the game talked about, and it is his first time out, but he's had a lot of throwing on the side, and he said hopefully he can get 2 or 3 innings on him, but it all depended, of course, on pitch count.
Absolutely.
And here's DJ LeMahieu. We are underway as LeMahieu takes ball 1.
Yeah, this is one of these situations where, yeah, you hope he can get up to maybe 50 pitches, pitch a strong 3 innings, but it's a different kind of atmosphere.
We saw those numbers flash on LeMahieu. He was in the MVP conversation last year, drove in over 100 runs, hit 327. What a great addition to an already talented team.
Well, he was the Yankees MVP for sure. You know, this Yankees team, they struggled with some big-time injuries last year, and it was LeMahieu that stayed consistent both offensively and defensively to help them through.
That's a strike.
They're going to kind of look to him again, it seems, this year. More players on the shelf. Big news, Aaron Judge with the cracked rib. And some misdiagnosis going on over there in the Yankees clubhouse.
LeMahieu bouncer to short. Iglesias gobbles it up. Oh, throwing the dirt. And he's safe on the throwing error. Davis got a glove on it, but couldn't hang on. And that's not going to happen a whole lot, you don't think, Mike? What did he get a little sloppy on the throw?
You don't really expect it. You never know. The wind could have a factor as well. It's kind of blowing around a little bit. But, yeah, a little lackadaisical. He didn't drive that shoulder to the target there. It came up short on Chris Davis. And again, it could have been just a cross-seam throw where you get a little sink action. And it looked like a dive bomb there in front of Chris Davis.
This is Luke Voigt. He's got some pop, power hitting first baseman. Had some core muscle surgery in the offseason. He was hampered down the stretch last year. 21 homers and limited at-bats and drove in 62.
A very dangerous hitter. Obviously, the 21 home runs last season. Kind of a part-timer as well.
Right back to Stewart, to second for 1. Iglesias on to first, and the Orioles turn 2.
We'd like to see that. Cole Stewart helping himself out. A little PFP. Most of the time spent down here for pitchers is in pitching fungo practice. A little comebacker. And he is ready for it. Knocks it down. It's Richie Martin standing there at second base to finish up that double play. Beautifully done. Check a look at the Oriole defense. Smith Jr. over in left. Austin Hayes in center. Diaz in right field. Iglesias and Martin turning 2 up the middle. Nunez over at third base with the crusher. Chris Davis at first. Pedro Severino doing the catching this afternoon.
Gleyber Torres takes a fastball at 89 miles an hour for strike 1. Torres kind of became the Mookie Betts last year against the Orioles, right? That guy that you just couldn't get out no matter what you threw him. and he just feasted on the birds.
He sure did. Well, a monster year. You know, had 38 home runs, but unfortunately 13 of those coming against the O's last season. Got to find a way to make him uncomfortable in the box.
And Cole Stewart jumps ahead 0-2 on him.
There's a lot on Torres' plate as well. With a couple big players down, a lot of responsibility is going to fall on his shoulders, and plus the fact that he's moved over to shortstop.
That's a ball. Cole Stewart, by the way, Mike talked about his background with the Twins. He was the 4th player picked in the 2013 draft. And there's something there, and he's trying to find it. I guess if he's getting ground balls, a lot of sinkers, right? That's a good sign. And he just blows that one by Torres. So an error got the inning started, but the Orioles retire him. Double Orioles GM Mike sponsors, Masson sponsors down here in Sarasota this weekend to cheer on the birds, enjoy the sunshine. And I think the conditions, I'm trying to read the flag out there, Mike. We looked earlier right before first pitch, and it was howling in pretty good, and now it looks like it's flipped around a little bit, so it's swirling.
Yeah, for sure. Pitcher's best friend, though, trying to get that flag to blow in.
All right, here's your Oriole lineup. Austin Hayes, followed by Santander, Chris Davis, Renato Nunez, Iglesias, Dwight Smith Jr. bat 6th, and then it's Severino, Martin, and Diaz 7, 8, and 9. Austin Hayes 4 for 22 on the spring.
And let's take a look at the Yankees starter Clark Schmidt, top pick here, first rounder a few years ago. Take a look at his numbers in Single-A and Double-A. Pretty impressive with that 3.47 earned run average, but that was a year coming off of Tommy John surgery. So they're expecting some good things out of Schmidt's right arm. Pretty good sinker ball. To the University of South Carolina, former Gamecock, first-round pick, 16th overall, but then boom, right under the knife, Tommy John surgery.
Well, apparently the Yankees thought a lot of him because they drafted him knowing he was going to have Tommy John surgery, right?
Yeah,
and took him in the first round.
They sure did. Yeah, so obviously a lot of promise here. Loved what they saw at South Carolina, and they're expecting some pretty good things from him.
I'm not sure I want to be an Oriole hitter today, Bordy, because I'm looking. After Schmidt, they got a bunch of young kids who throw lightning. Not always sure where it's going. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of walks, and a lot of hit batters. So
yeah.
It's one of those days, if you're a veteran hitter, you're going, oh, this could be interesting.
Yeah, you got that right. Make some marks early, right? Get some runs on the board early in this one.
2-2 to Hayes. Just got a piece. No, gets away from the catcher, and he'll reach on the strikeout.
Live two-seam fastball. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense here this afternoon. Take a look at the outfield. Emberge is joined by Florial and Malone in the outfield. Torres and LeMahieu turning 2 up the middle. Herrera over at third base. Luke Voigt playing first base. And Higashioka doing the catching this afternoon. Higashioka came up a couple years ago. There's a look at Torres at shortstop. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge for him. Not quite as easy as playing second base at the major league level. Actually saw him make an error the other day.
Hayes running, and the ball into center field. He'll hang at second. So the Orioles among the best. They're now 19 for 23 in stolen bases this spring, Mike. And VR may not be here, but they still got some guys that are going to push it, right?
Yeah, they definitely have some team speed. And here, a great job by Austin Hayes. Off and running right out of the gate, and with the head up, looking to take more. This is a straight steal. No look in at all. A good jump and head to the outfield, looking to advance. Yeah, Brandon Hyde's really had this team on the go and looking to steal bases, advance on balls in the dirt as well.
Switch hitting Santander from the left side against the right-hander Schmidt.
It's going to be, you know, we talk about the Orioles being definitely a team of opportunity. Well, they're going to have to make some opportunities themselves and take advantage of opportunities to steal bases, go first and third, read balls in the dirt. Got some great base coaches that can keep them heads up on that, but it's up to the player really to have his eyes focused and really want to take the extra base, move up 90 feet.
1-1 to Santander, bounce down to first. Voigt backhands it, flips to Schmidt as Hayes moves up to third.
Good job getting him over right there. Still early in the ball game. You don't expect too much small ball, but I think ability to make that first mark, I think, is important. But with a mindset of moving the guy over to third base is important. Nice
a little more
job.
pitcher fielding practice, right?
Absolutely.
Get over there and make sure you cover on that ball hit to the right side. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that brings up Chris Davis. Well, we've talked about his spring. It's been impressive. See the numbers last year, the 179. Right now he's hitting .500, 6 for 12. 3 homers, 8 RBIs, 6 walks, only 2 strikeouts. He scored 6 runs. And if you put the OPS to all of that, it comes out to 1.850, which is off the charts.
Yeah, pretty impressive. You know, I know Chris Davis has had his struggles, but one thing I've noticed coming into camp, aside from his extra 25 pounds he put on over the winter, the fact that he's just really looked good in batting practice, going the other way, not trying to do too much. And I think that's really led to this nice start here at the beginning of spring training. He's got 6 walks, so that tells you he's not trying to do too much. Only a couple punch outs as well. And he's got the 3 home runs, but he's also picked up base hits going to left field. So big sign, I think, for the Orioles, and potential resurgence for Chris Davis.
Takes a strike there, infield in, trying to cut off the run at the plate. 3 infielders on the right side. Left fielder playing shallow.
Yeah, so this is a new trend, obviously, in baseball, along with the shifting, but bringing the infield in the first inning.
That's up high.
So risk, obviously, for potential bigger inning. Here bringing the infield in, but the importance of runs, I think, is really what comes to mind, and the reason why teams are doing this, really try to cut down those scoring opportunities.
Carlos Mendoza managing the Yankees today. Aaron Boone back, split squad game. It's down in the dirt for a ball, and Davis ahead in the count, 3-1. Well, that's
a pretty good block right here. I mentioned the game that the Orioles played up in Tampa the other day against the Yankees. Gary Sanchez a tough time blocking the baseball, but here, good position, sliding over, really squaring up the baseball, protecting that 5-hole, and knocks it right down in front of him.
You don't have to be a Princeton grad to figure out the numbers get crazy good when you're 3-1 versus 1-2, right? And Chris Davis has worked himself into some pretty favorable counts. And there's a blast to left center, and it falls for a base hit and drives in his 8th run of the spring.
Well, there you go. Working a count into his favor. That's a pitch he can handle. Yeah, it's a pitch he can handle right there. And the 3-1 count, a little fastball up and out over. And he's able to drive it to center field. Once again, not trying to do too much. Stay inside the baseball. Use the big part of the field. And he knows it right off the bat. It's a base hit in any ballpark. He's had some troubles pulling the ball with such a huge shift on him the last few seasons. Nice to see him going the other way.
So the Orioles score first. Talked about it in the open, the Orioles and the Yankees on opening day. Just about 2.5 weeks away, Mike. It's creeping up.
It sure is. It comes quick. I think the players are starting to feel, a little bit antsy as their innings start to mount. Most of the regulars are getting about 20, 25 ABs right now. Maybe a couple guys with 30 ABs, and typically it's right around 50 where everybody's like, let's go. We got to head north.
Yeah, we're getting tired of this. Nunez, 4 for 22 this spring, has a home run. Little pop-up right side. LeMahieu with a long run, and it's fair ball. A base hit as Nunez found the right spot.
Well, that might help him get going a little bit. This little bloop sometimes will help that confidence. He's been struggling a little bit, trying to find that barrel up at the plate, get his timing down a little, but finding that right field line and keep a little rally going here in the first inning.
Nunez at first. There's Chris Davis out at second. Only 1 down. Orioles got a run in. Davis drove in a run, scoring Austin Hayes with a base hit to left center. And this is the shortstop, Jose Iglesias, 5 for 13 on the spring, hitting .385. Schmidt caught the inside corner for strike 1.
We talked about Iglesias' glove out there and how special it could potentially be for this team, but he's no slouch with the bat either. He's going to have some surprise home run power, and he's another guy that really just targets the middle of the field. He works hard in batting practice, staying inside the baseball, driving it to right center field, and here one of those opportunities where he could pick up another RBI.
Mark Schmidt ahead on the count. No balls, 1 strike. 2 on, 1 down. Orioles up 1-0. Breaking ball misses. Well, Clark Schmidt has an opportunity, Mike, with all the injuries in the Yankees rotation. It may not be opening day, but a lot of people think that he might have a shot to make some starts for him this year.
Yeah, he may. I think they're wanting to probably build his innings up a little bit more. You know, get a little bit more time with his arm. We mentioned his Tommy John surgery. Was it 2017? He came right in and had Tommy John surgery.
Bounced off the plate. Fires across, and he's safe. Iglesias beat it out, and the bases are loaded. Well, Rosell Herrera had to get it over there in a hurry, and it wasn't in time, an infield hit.
Yeah, well, see, this is the type of stuff that Torres is going to have to deal with. He's the leader out there in the infield, and that's a play where he's really got to come and get it strong, call that young third baseman off. Different look over there, different set of skills needed to play shortstop, and one of the most important is just being the leader out there, being aggressive and knowing when to take charge.
So things haven't gone real well for Clark Schmidt. He got a strikeout, but Hayes reached on that, and then Davis with the RBI base hit. Nunez blooped one into right. Iglesias with an infield hit, and they're loaded for Dwight Smith Jr. There's a line drive base hit into left. That'll score one run, and the Orioles go up 2-0. Didn't wait. Ambushed him, Mike.
Well, you get guys on base, man. There isn't really anything to wait for. Dwight Smith Jr. kind of been snake bit here in spring training. Last year hit his way onto the team. He's hit some bullets right at guys here this last week. This time finding a hole, two-seamer down and away, and he stays on it. Once again, not trying to do too much, just find that barrel. Today's that type of day where if you try to do too much, you're going to be in trouble with this wind pushing in. They're a beautiful piece of hitting, and the Orioles going station to station, but pushing another one across.
Carlos Mendoza out to settle down the kid. Give him a little breather, too. He's thrown a few pitches here. Still only one out. Orioles have the bases loaded, 2 runs in. Bottom half the first inning. Another beautiful afternoon. A little cooler this morning. Came to the ballpark. I guess it was around 8:45, and it was 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Grab your jacket for an hour or so until the sun warms things up.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you were probably here at 5:30, and there might have been some frost on the ground at that time, right?
There was some frost on the pumpkin for sure.
Pedro Severino at the plate in the dirt. There goes Sheik with a pretty good block there.
Yeah, not bad, but there's a situation where really every base runner's got to pay attention to these opportunities and understand he's a fastball slider type pitcher, trying to get ahead with the slider right there, but have that anticipation. Really, and Brandon Hyde's had this whole team out there working on those exact type of plays. Easy to score a run.
Breaking ball for a strike. Count even at 1-1. See Severino's numbers last year. Had that 3 home run game, hit 13 on the year, so there's some pop in that bat.
Oh, there sure is, and he's just going to get better with age. You know, just a young kid trying to find his way. Had great opportunity last year. Some big league catching and some hitting as well.
That's up high, 2-1.
And there's that situation where, okay, younger hitter, but with his experience now knows that the pressure's on the pitcher here. So look for a pitch up and out over. Until you get that, try to be patient. Nice job getting into this count.
That was the 2-1. That should get a run in. Grabbed by the right fielder, and Nunez tags, and he'll score, and the Orioles lead 3-0.
Now, nicely done. Some really good ABs here in the first inning for the Orioles. Good base running right there by Nunez, recognizing that wind pushing in. So that ball's going to get knocked down. Looked like Severino really got into that pretty well. And a good play over there by the right fielder. The Orioles pushing another one across. Really, Austin Hayes kind of setting the tone with that first inning strikeout, actually passed ball, and then the stolen base, and then some small ball getting them over, and boom, off they've gone.
And that brings up Richie Martin. He's 7 for 21 this spring. A couple of doubles, a triple, and a homer. 3 stolen bases. So he's had himself a good spring, playing second base today, primarily used at shortstop last year by the Birds.
Yeah, he's really had a good spring offensively, really stayed to a game plan. Last year in spring training, I think hitting coach Don Long was really trying to just see what he had to work with. Richie Martin, a little bit too much movement, and then it ended up being a project for the next, 3/4 of the season, just trying to find what was going to work for Richie Martin.
Well, we saw how good he was defensively at short. How much of adjustment is he as he tries to, I guess, increase his value with versatility at second base today?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity for Richie Martin. I think, ultimately it might just come down to Richie Martin needing some more seasoning in the minor leagues, just to kind of slow and learn his internal clock defensively. But just an incredible talent, tools off the chart, and I think it's great for him to be able to learn some other positions.
Bouncer to second. LeMahieu's there and retires the side. But the Orioles get 3. Birds on top of the Yankees, 3-0 after 1. Greg Bader coming up next. Nice. How about last night? We're looking out at the Big Ten out there in right center field. Pretty good party, right?
Tremendous event. This is just such a great weekend. I love how we bring athletes and music artists together. It seems like athletes want to have been musicians and musicians want to have been athletes.
A lot of crossover,
and it's
right?
just some great conversations that happen from that. So it's a great weekend.
Mike and I were talking earlier. He was here in year 1 when this place opened, and 10 years flies by pretty quick. But what a venue and what an interaction the Orioles have had with the community here in Sarasota.
It is. It really is a great partnership. 10 years down here in Sarasota. So that we've been really fortunate to really be in a tremendous situation, being in one of the jewels of the Grapefruit League here in Sarasota. And this event in particular, something that's been going on now for the 5th season, to raise some tremendous funds and awareness for arts and music education in schools, and hoping to create a situation where we can empower our youth, the future leaders, to really get a well-rounded education from a health and wellness standpoint, from an arts and music education.
That's ripped into left field, a base hit for Higashioka. And the Yankees have the leadoff batter on here in the second. Mike and I were saying, time flies. We're 2 weeks and a couple of days away from opening day, right? And it'll be the Yankees coming into Camden Yards.
Don't remind me. We've got a lot still to do in these next 2.5 weeks. And everybody I see down here is like, are we really starting March 26th? And yes, we are. We're gonna be there. It's gonna be sold out. Another hopefully beautiful day. Baltimore's had some pretty warm weather. Looks like some warm weather coming up this week as well. So maybe we'll get lucky.
Greg, I remember covering this team starting in Miami, and then it was Fort Lauderdale, and there was St. Pete, and there were kind of a wandering nomad for a while, and now you guys have really locked down this, and it's been such a great relationship. I've seen some of the numbers about economic impact here.
Yeah, it really is tremendous. This community has embraced the Orioles in a way that I think it exceeded expectations. When we looked at an economic impact opportunity for Sarasota County, original projections were about $40 million, where we're now coming in close to $90 million annually. So it's really great for the area.
This ballpark has really kind of blossomed, right? It'spa Stadium, the transition it's made. But there are also some perks, obviously. Boog's barbecue out in left field now. Some other really interesting and fun things that seem to have evolved over the last 10 years.
You're exactly right. Each year we try to add something a little new. We've added Boog's barbecue last year to much acclaim. This year we have a Boog's spring training brew, so he's got his own beer down here in Sarasota. So that's been fun. And of course, as you can see, it's just a beautiful venue to watch a baseball game. There's not a bad seat in the house. You've got the left field pavilion for a super casual experience. You've got some great box seats. Even the reserve seats are so close to the field. It's just a really great opportunity to be up close and personal to baseball.
Greg Bader with us here, and that one gets away. Runner will move up. Wild pitch.
Even though there's still a couple weeks left down here, looking forward to the season. I know we've talked about the success of the Caravan.
That was awesome.
How much more excitement is there to be more involved in the community this upcoming season?
It's a great question, and I think that winter caravan to send us into spring training with such an energy, and Mike, you were at one of the rallies, you were on one of the buses all day. It was just a tremendous energy, and I think it was a great reminder to the players and also the staff that there are a lot of O's fans out there that want us to succeed and have bought into this rebuild and everything we're trying to do both on and off the field. So that gave us a lot of energy, and I think you'll see those types of events continue throughout the season. We have a very, very committed community development department that's focusing on empowering our youth and helping to grow our community. So it's something that we will definitely be a part of.
And Gittins takes strike 3 looking. So the second strikeout for Cole Stewart. What do you see in Bordy? Looks pretty good,
well,
right?
Stewart actually painting that outside corner. Looked like a cut fastball right there. Low 90s with that pitch. Just locking him up. Beautiful.
Hey, Greg, also, you guys don't sit still. The music series back home, tell the fans about that.
Yes, absolutely. Birdland's Summer Music Series is back. We've got our Friday Fireworks and Women of Country Music Series, which is highlighting emerging female artists, which is a fantastic series. And we actually have a few Friday post-game concerts, or a few post-game concerts at different times, with some more established acts that we haven't announced yet. We're working with the artists to do that. So in the coming weeks, days and weeks, we'll have some of those announced. It'll be some excitement. And then Saturday roof deck sessions, pregame sessions with acts performing before the game starts. Have some roof deck specials, some happy hour specials up there, and it's a great environment around the ballpark these days, and especially when we can bring the music experience to the fans.
I know the Billy Joel thing, the concert was a huge success, and you're looking to do more of those big things too.
You're exactly right, and it's a challenge. I mean, the schedule is such that it has to fit with the artist's schedule, and it has to make sure that you can get the field ready for both the concert and then for the game that would follow, whenever that may be. So it has to line up right. We definitely will do those again. It was a huge economic driver for the city, and that's really, a huge part of what we do is to drive people to downtown Baltimore. The first 26 years of Camden Yards, we've drove 75 million visitors to Baltimore, and our goal is over these next 26 years to drive 75 million more. And it's going to take, acts like Billy Joel and other well-known acts in addition to the baseball experience to do that.
Well,
bouncer, Stewart off the mound and can't handle it.
Another little PFP tester right there for Stewart. Looks like he may have slipped a little bit in the turf. Greg, I just wanted to say, you're talking about the next 25 years, but it's obviously important to get that next generation involved. The kids program seem to have really taken off. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Definitely. The Kids Cheer Free, where we allow all kids 9 and under come to any game absolutely free of charge. A paying adult can bring up to 2 kids 9 and under absolutely free. We've got a Kids Cheer Free Plus program that expands that to kids 14 and under, and also provides some complimentary field box seats to a game, as well as a membership card and a hat and lanyard, similar to the Dugout Club before, but you can go to any games you want. It's not specific games. But yeah, that program is designed to really bring generations together.
I want to ask you, too, we had Brooks on the radio show on Friday, and he said he was coming down this weekend. We saw the shot of Eddie and Boog last night at the concert. How cool is it for fans to be able to rub elbows with some of the greats of baseball and obviously legends in our town?
Yeah, I mean, as we talk about the day, possibly the greatest highlight is seeing, Brooks and Boog and Eddie together, and so many fans wanting to pose for photos with them. It's great to have them a part of the organization and be around so much. Brian Roberts as well was here yesterday afternoon when we did some clinics on the field for some kids from Girls Inc. and Autism Speaks. We did some health and wellness clinics. We did an arts clinic. We did a music clinic, even a gardening clinic with our grounds crew. It was a really great opportunity to give back. And when we see those legends that are a part of the organization still and interacting with fans, I mean, that's just a great day. You walk in and meet Brooks Robinson.
Not bad, right? We just showed some of the fans that were down here with Mike Elias over here, some of the Masson and Orioles sponsors who came down and were a part of this weekend. Estevan Florial at the plate, 0-2 the count, runners on the corners, 1 out, and Florial rips one into right field. That'll be extra bases. 1 run's in, and they'll hold the runner at third. It's a 2-bagger and an RBI for Florial. Florio, once a top Yankee prospect, has slipped out of their top 10. He had kind of a rough year at A-ball last year, but he jumped on that pitch.
Yeah, well, Florio actually last year in spring training broke his wrist. That's where the setback came from, but a nice swing right here. And Stewart was not able to help himself with that little comebacker down the first base line, paying the price. The Yankees getting on the board and now threatening once again with runners at second and third.
This is Trey Amberge. He's the left field today. 2 runners in scoring position. Orioles got 3 in the top half of the first, or the bottom half of the first, and now the Yankees with the tying run on second base. There's a strike, throws behind him. Nunez slaps the tag on. Just got back.
Oh, nice try right there. Severino coming out of the chute. Throwing behind, just trying to keep base runners honest. At times, the Orioles can pick some runners off right here. But there are a couple things, a couple reasons why they do this. One, to maybe shorten up that lead at third base. But another, just to kind of send a message. The Orioles are going to be aggressive, and they're going to throw behind runners. They're not going to be scared or intimidated. So that's an aggressive brand of baseball that Hyde likes.
Fly ball carrying right center field, and it's grabbed out there. Good catch as Diaz got over. The run scores. Florial moves up to third.
Well, that ball hit pretty well, but once again, the elements coming into play. It looked like it was going to be a play for Austin Hayes in center, but that wind just shoved it over to right field. Nice job by Diaz, keeping the concentration, coming down with that second out, but the Yankees able to push one across with that deep sack fly.
I thought Hayes might run it down originally, Mike, and it just kept carrying
Didn't it? Just kept right pushing field, away, pushing away.
So 2 down, runner on third. Orioles lead trimmed to 3-2. And this is Thomas Malone. Playing right field today, left-hand hitter, and he bounces it down the left field line. That's going to tie the game. So a base hit from Malone. Let's get Greg Bader out of here, man. Ever since he showed up, the Yankees have just got the bats out. What's happening, Greg?
I'm going to stand right outside the booth like the bottom of the first inning. I think you do need to get me out.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, you said opening day is sold out. Is there anything? Would there be anything popping for fans?
There are still some opportunities. So we will be completely sold out. There are still some seats available for Birdland members. We also have a 3-pack that is new this year, where you can get that game and 2 other games of your choice. That's available online. Go to Orioles.com. And occasionally we get some seats back and limited view seats and things like that that might be available online. So we always encourage fans to check back at Orioles.com. But it's extremely limited as it's been in the past.
Thanks for stopping up. Great seeing you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Seeing you a lot this year, Greg.
Absolutely, me too. Thanks, Mike.
Looks like the Orioles are going to get out of the inning here. Fly ball to right. Diaz battling the wind, the sun, and everything else makes the grab. So the Yankees get 3 to tie it up. Orioles coming to bat. Oh, my. What do you need to say about that? 5-33, 2 of the greatest that ever played this game. They've got their spots in Cooperstown. Brooks Robinson and the great Eddie Murray. Aren't you glad to say you brushed their paths? Right?
Well, you know, I mean, we talk all the time about their incredible baseball legacy, but they're just as people, just so incredible. Salt of the earth people. Love them to death.
This is Diaz to lead it off in the Orioles second. So the Birds, they got 3 in the top of the first. Bottom of the first, the Yankees come back and tie it up at 3. Diaz takes a breaking ball. That's a strike.
And not what you're hoping if you're the Yankee or the Oriole manager and pitching coach. You expect a 0 after your team puts 3 quickly up on the board. And Stewart not helping himself out much defensively there.
Fly ball, right field. Let's see what the wind does with this one. Malone tracks it, 1 down. Oriole fans gain access to exclusive special offers and members-only VIP experiences with a Birdland membership. Choose your level, use your benefits, and enjoy the rewards such as pancakes with cakes, Jim Palmer, and batting practice with the great Eddie Murray. Take your game to the next level at Orioles.com/membership. I think Ed Murray could teach you a thing or two, or a little BP, right?
Man, oh man.
Which side would you like to work, left or right?
I'd love to learn a left-handed swing from Eddie.
The thing I remember most about Eddie, Mike, is I mean, you talk about 500 homers and 3,000 hits and everything he did, but it seemed like he got better in the tighter situations. Late innings, he just took it up a notch.
Right. That's what the Hall of Famers do. They're men of the moment. He certainly would always seem to rise to the occasion.
This is Austin Hayes. Scored a run in the first. He struck out, reached on a pass ball, stole a base, and then came home on Chris Davis's base hit.
Austin Hayes, so many weapons, obviously, and when he gets his swing down, when he's able to discipline his strike zone just a little bit more, and he's still kind of fighting for that here in spring training, although lately hitting the ball a little bit better. He's an impact offensive player, really, on both sides of the ball. Defensively, there's no question he's one of the better young center fielders in the game. Covers so much ground, has a strong, accurate arm. Offensively, still fighting for that consistency, and look for some good things, though, out of him this year.
Foul ball. Still alive with a full count. So we often hear about the five-tool player, but I think of him, he can run, he can go. He had a 30 home run season in the minor leagues. There's power there. You talked about his arm. He seems to have a lot of the tools.
He sure does. Yeah. He really does. And I think we saw a glimpse of that last year in September. Of course, just rocketed through the minor leagues, and then before he got his first taste in the big leagues, and then a setback, obviously, with the injuries last season. But you know, I think him coming into camp with that, just a different type of confidence. You know, he's experienced the big leagues now. He knows what it's going to take to play at that level, play at a high level consistently. And I think he's going to be a huge one for the Orioles.
And Schmidt gets him on strike, so 2 down.
A slow breaking ball here, able to get Austin Hayes out in front, so you get geared up for that sinking, that sinker, that firm sinker, and the hard slider, 84 miles an hour with some bite down and away. And Austin Hayes, you see that weight out on the front foot swinging over the top. So that breaking ball kind of took him out of his rhythm a little bit.
Bart Schmidt trying to get the Orioles in order here as Santander steps in. He bounced out to the first baseman back in the first inning.
A productive out, though, moving Austin Hayes over to third base, and which ended up leading to that 3-run first inning.
That's a ball.
Anthony's swing, actually, from the left side is pretty much right on time here in spring training. The right side still needing some timing work.
That's got to be tough for switch hitters, right? Especially early in the year in spring, getting your reps. Bounces it to second. LeMahieu up with it and throws him out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Clark Schmidt as Santander bounces up. We're tied at 3 after 2 in Sarasota.
Well, the first pitch, ceremonial first pitch for the Orioles spring training game against the New York Yankees, and as you see, demonstrated a heck of a ability to throw the ball to home plate. And we're here right now with our first lady of our great state, Mrs. Hogan. Is this your first time throwing out the first pitch?
Actually, second time. Warrior first time, and it was another one. Look.
You did a good job. You have fun with it?
Oh, thank you.
Now, you're here this weekend for athletes and artists, play for kids. It's a great event. Now, I did not know until this weekend that you are an artist yourself. Am I right?
Yes, I'm an artist myself, and also I'm teacher, art teacher.
Now, for you, so it's important that we have art in schools, and that's what this is all about.
Artists are really important to our community. You know, art makes everything great. It doesn't matter who you are, you know, it doesn't matter young and old. You know, art makes everything beautiful and making happy for community.
And what we're learning now is, in your opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, it's as important as reading and math and everything else, the art.
Yes, artists are really, especially yesterday with the children, autism children, they really happy time with making art.
Now, Mrs. Hogan, after all the workshops yesterday, last night we had an opportunity to be there for the concert with some of the songwriters. I thought did great, very clever. Had a great time last night. What you thought about the last night's event?
Oh, there was a beautiful, song, you know, that music, the country music was everything. It's like tell us about story. They was very in touch. I love that.
Yeah, storytelling. Now you're here watching the Orioles. Your thoughts on the Orioles so far this year?
Yes, this is the first time I hear, you know.
Really?
It's beautiful, yes.
It is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Much better than the weather back in Maryland. We shouldn't say that, though, should we?
Yeah, we have actually mild winter, you know, pretty spoiled this winter, but this is much better than Maryland. But I go back home tonight.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. Back to you, Scott and Bordy.
All right, thank you, Rob, with the First Lady, Yumi Hogan. We had a few things happen here. First, I thought Voit hit one out. I guess it caught the very top of the wall and left, and then, you know, a little more alert. I think they would have had him at first, right?
Absolutely.
He got hung up between first and second.
There are a couple things going on right there. Voit thinks he hits a home run. Of course, the wind's driving in about 40 miles an hour right now, so off the top of the wall. But then the Orioles weren't prepared for it. So they did have an out right there. And then the double play, of course, Nunez throw pulling Richie Martin. I don't know. I thought Richie's foot was on there, but Joe West saying no. Joe West been around for a while. He's got those eyes that have seen that, but he and I had a run-in many years ago about a double play turn where he told me I pulled my foot off second base, and I let him know that he should go back to Little League. He promptly threw me out.
How many ejections did you have in your career?
I only had a couple.
That was one. Fly ball center field. Austin Hayes looks like he's under it now and makes the grab. Voit tags at second, and he'll move up to third.
And the Orioles been playing some pretty sound defense here this spring training. Of course, we talk about Richie Martin now moving around a little bit, playing some short, playing some second base, and that double play, though, is one of those situations, obviously opportunities that needs to be turned, you know, and Richie just a little bit quick coming off that backside of the base. Nunez's throw obviously could have been much better. He's every day trying to improve his defense, a little subpar, and a player that I think the Orioles would love to have on the field full time because his bat definitely plays at the major league level. It's just kind of cleaning up that defense, make him more consistent over there at the hot corner.
This is Chris Gittens at the plate, a rather imposing figure, Bordy. He's got some lumber in his hands.
Yeah, big guy for sure, and you know, he's a guy that was in Double-A last year, 23 home runs in Double-A, so he's one of these younger prospects.
Don't make a mistake, right?
Yeah, exactly.
2 down, 0-1 to Gittens. We're tied at 3. That's away for a ball. So up to 40 pitches, and that's a pretty good outing first time out, right? As far as workload for Cole Stewart.
Yeah, and I think they were looking somewhere between 40 and 50 pitches. Of course, a lot of times, too, the stress levels of innings play a part.
Ooh, look out, late on that one, lined it just beyond the Oriole dugout into the camera well.
Yeah, that second inning, though, was one of those stressful innings, obviously, for Cole Stewart. So threw a few more pitches, and this gets your anxiety levels worked up a little bit more. So I'm sure this will probably be it for Cole.
1-2's away, 2-2 the count. Yeah, he only had 11 pitches the first inning. That was nice. They turned to double play, and then the second inning, 3 runs, 4 hits, and a lot of pitches.
Oh, and you think about some of the defensive opportunities. He could have helped himself.
Yeah.
Kind of botched a little comebacker there down that first base line. The Orioles
Iglesias
defense
had the throwing error.
Yeah, Iglesias had the throwing error. The defense here in this inning hasn't been as sound as you'd like to see.
I see the coach in you jump up a couple times. Yeah.
Well, it's just paying attention to a little bit more detail, right?
Nunez across the infield, Gittens down, and so are the Yankees. Orioles coming to bat in the third. It's a 3-3 tie. Mancini has left the club. He will have a medical procedure probably sometime next week, according to the manager, but they're kind of being careful and respecting Trey's privacy. But Skipper Brandon Hyde was asked about, you know, the impact that this news has had on his teammates. He's such a well-loved guy.
There's life that happens outside of baseball, and these are young men that are, you know, just a really great group of guys. And Trey's a enormous part of this team and a huge face for our club, and so and everybody loves him. And so there's when there's a setback, then it hurts to not have him here. And so it's we're just thinking about him and his well-being.
Yeah, there are things bigger than baseball, and right now everybody's concerns are with Trey and wish him nothing but the best. I liked, here's what the skipper said. Being around him, there's nobody that's a better person in the locker room. He's able to be friends with whatever type of person, background of a teammate he has. He's always there to talk to and always brings such an amazing perspective to everything that you have conversations about. He just loves everybody, whether it's a random fan in the stands or the clubhouse staff or the guy hitting behind him. He's got the same relationship with everybody.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of obviously thoughts and prayers going to Trey Mancini and his family, and it's coming from the heart of this organization. Listen, he's as big a part of this organization as anyone coming up through the minor leagues, knows and loves all the coaches that have helped him along the way. And there isn't one guy that appreciates his opportunity here to put on an Oriole uniform more than Trey Mancini. So definitely a lot of love coming from the Oriole clubhouse and the whole organization.
That's going to end Clark Schmidt's day. Chris Davis reaches base for the second time today. We'll take a timeout. Orioles and Yankees tied at 3.
He's making a pitching change. Clark Schmidt out of the ball game. Alder Abreu now in. Last season, take a look at his numbers in Double-A. 23 games, made 20 starts. Came away with the 5 wins with a 4.28 earned run average. 91 punch-outs with the 53 walks at 96 and 2/3 innings of work. Pretty good arm. Another one of these young prospects over here trying to show what he's got and move up through the ranks of the Yankees organization.
Originally in the Houston organization, came to the Yankees in the Brian McCann trade in 2016, was ranked among their top 10 prospects, and he's getting to the point now at 24 where knocking on the door. It's his time.
And we talked about some of the injuries, some big injuries. Well, the Yankees, not just on the position side, but probably more importantly on that pitching side of thing. Paxton really missing 3 to 4 months. Luis Severino missing the whole year.
Yeah. And then Herman, who won 18 games, double play ball to short, flipped to second for 1, on to first. And the Yankees take turn 2.
Well, Abreu likes that. This little 2-seam fastball right there. Hit hard into the ground. Routine double play. And underhand feed on to LeMahieu. The Yankees veteran infielders kind of clean it up.
Makes the manager look good, right? When you go out and ask for the ball, and then your guy comes in and you get a double play.
Absolutely.
This is Iglesias. Look out. The breaking ball got away, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Never like to see something coming at your coconut.
Right, a little overthrow coming up quick. Sometimes too with this wind down here, and it seems like the weather patterns kind of change. There are humid days, and there are these dry days, and with the wind, man, it can make that ball slick.
96 on that fastball outside. See the breeze. Not a lot of calm days down here, right, Mike?
There sure aren't.
Iglesias now 6 for 14 on the spring. Little pop on that 97-mile-an-hour heater.
That's a live arm for sure.
Abreu, 6'2", 190-pounder, 24-year-old right-hander from the Dominican. 96 on the outside corner.
Maybe that little breaking ball kind of gotten ahead of Iglesias, and then boom, fastball, right into the count.
Outfield shading him a little toward right. 2-2 pitch.
Pretty firm slider to go along with that heavy fastball. 88 miles an hour. Some late movement.
How about tomorrow? Day off. That doesn't happen too often in spring training, right?
I can't believe it. I don't know what guys are going to do with themselves. I do know that even on off days that, of course, the medical staff will be in here, and there are going to be some bullpen sessions being thrown, maybe a simulated game out in backfields.
And Iglesias down on strike, so pretty impressive. Abreu comes in, gets a double play ball with a strikeout. We're tied at 3. 5 hits, 3 earned, no walks, and 2 Ks.
Michael Gibbons now into the ball game. He's had a couple appearances here on the main field this spring training. More backfield sessions, but take a look at his numbers from last year. 4.57 earned run average. Hawking a couple wins out of the bullpen. 86 punch-outs. He's got a live arm. He got those 86 punch-outs in 63 innings. And now it's just a matter of kind of, I guess, just being more consistent with that fastball location. 13 home runs given up last year, and that's going to hurt, especially in the back end of a bullpen.
First pitch bounced down to Chris Davis. He'll take it himself. 1 down. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, you talked about the home run. So in 2018, he gave up 4 home runs in 76 innings. Last year, in 13 less innings, he gave up 19 homers.
Yeah, well, you know, as more time you spend in the major leagues, more people get familiar with you, so you got to change things up a little bit. Michael Gibbons has been developing a change-up for left-handed hitters, and that pitch has come along, but ultimately it comes back to fastball command with most major league pitchers. If they want to have success at this level, you're going to have to locate the heater. The fastball command wasn't quite there last season. In a lot of ways, I think it was just maybe a breakdown in his mechanics. The ability to repeat that delivery. Michael's got some deception going on, but at times he can get a little too side to side, and that front shoulder can pull out of there and leave that fastball up and out over.
Well, one thing we know, this former shortstop, another ground ball, second base. Martin takes care of that, and 2 quick outs here in the Yankee 4th inning. Opening day, 3-game flex plan. Score on opening day with that triple play. Gain access to opening day, and then your choice of 2 additional games with the 3-game flex plan with options as low as $74. Get great savings on game day fun. Choose your plan now at Orioles.com. He's always been able to get strikeouts, Mike. I think it's 12.29 per 9 innings pitched, and right-handers, he's a nightmare, right?
You got that right. Yeah, the deception kind of turning his back to that right-handed hitter. The 3/4 arm slot, maybe a little lower at times.
It's ripped into the gap in right center. Diaz over. Don't test that arm because he'll make you look bad.
Yeah, there's pretty strong arms out there today. Dwight Smith Jr., of course, over at left field. Got to work on that arm strength a little bit, but definitely Yusniel Diaz and Austin Hayes, some strong arms in the outfield. Pretty good piece of hitting right here. And driving that fastball down and away to right center field. Now you see up quickly and getting it back into the infield.
Left-hand hitting Thomas Malone at the plate. He had an RBI double back in that rally when the Yankees got 3 in the second. Ambergy at first, 2 down. Gibbons first inning in, and that gets away from Severino. Wild pitch will advance the runner.
Now that changeup right here by Michael Gibbons just holds on to it a little too long. And take a look, yanking it across, almost catches a piece of Malone. And Severino can't even get leather on it. Scoots to the backstop, and a Yankee now in scoring position.
That's foul down the right field line.
There's backing it up with another changeup. So the frustration right there. Michael Gibbons at times really wears his emotions out there on his sleeves. And I know he shook off to get back to the changeup, frustrated. And he didn't have quite the command he had wanted.
What a great story he has. Started as a shortstop, was drafted fairly high, started in Delmarva, as a pitcher. Shortstop in 2013 and didn't pitch until 2015, and he's been in the big leagues almost ever since. It was a pretty quick track once he made that transition, wasn't it?
Well, I think, you know, Michael Gibbons, obviously a tremendous athlete, one of the better fielding pitchers in the game. Probably wishes that every ball would be hit back to him so that he could make some plays. But as he was coming up, obviously everybody noticed that incredibly strong arm. But next thing you know, who's knocking on the door was Manny Machado and Jonathan Scope come rolling through, and he realized that his time was going to be better spent on the bump. A wise decision right there.
11 saves last year for the Orioles. Fly ball hit well, deep right field. That's over Diaz's head and out of here. So Malone, who doubled in the second, gives the Yankees a lead with a 2-run shot.
Looks like another changeup right there from Michael Gibbons. And typically that changeup will have some nice fade action down and away. This one looks like it stayed on that inner third. Yeah, you see Severino's glove. The target spot was down and away for sure. Leaks back over the inner third, and off it goes. Trouble with the changeup there.
Well, a number 93 having himself a day. Thomas Malone with a double and a 2-run homer. 3 runs driven in for the Yankees. And LeMahieu hits it deep to center. Hayes fighting the wind, has room, and makes the catch just in front of the warning track. Yankees get 2 on the Malone homer. 5-3 Yankees. Orioles batting in the bottom of the Loving the ballpark this week. That's Masson's Rock Kabatko and his fiance now, Emily. She did say yes. They met here 6 years ago at the ballpark, and that's Wanda, the security guard. She came and got Rock 6 years ago. They said, there's somebody here to see you, and that's when he met Emily, and they lived happily ever after. There's Rock heading down to get some comments on the job, but congratulations to Rock and Emily, engaged here 6 years later on Thursday.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
You didn't get engaged at the ballpark, did you?
No.
You didn't do like the bats from home plate to the mound?
No, I did not do that. I did not do that, no.
Oh, good for Rock and Emily, right?
Right.
Congratulations. Here's Dwight Smith to lead it off in the Oriole fourth. Birch jumped out 3-0 in the first inning, but the Yankees have scored 5 unanswered. There's a shot. LeMahieu backhands it, fires across, and gets him. Terrific play.
Yeah, beauty right there. DJ LeMahieu. You know, we talked about him being the most valuable Yankee last year. There are so many times that his glove is just gets underrated. He's a Gold Glove second baseman, and did that over in the National League with the Rockies. This is a big man, 6'4", moving around like that. Pretty impressive stuff of the Yankees second baseman.
Yankees with an abundance of middle infielders. Traded Didi Gregorius right to the Phillies. You got to get his bat in there somewhere. He might play some first base this year, second. He's got versatility.
He does.
This is Severino. Drove in a run with a sac fly in the first inning.
Well, played third base the other night.
Andahar, he's back and healthy. He had a big year. Urshela, right? He played well.
Gio Urshela will probably be the third baseman. Andahar, they're talking about moving to the outfield.
There's another shot. So 2 hard hit balls off Abreu. There's a base hit from Severino with 1 down.
Calling all kids. Kids Cheer Free Plus offers Orioles fans 14 and under a ticket voucher for 4 free lower-level tickets. Free access to all home games through Kids Cheer Free plus limited edition swag. Learn more at Orioles.com/KidsFreePlus.
Well, Dwight Smith hit a rocket that LeMahieu made a good play on, and then Severino jumped on that pitch.
Yeah, well, they saw that big fastball at the end of last inning, 97, 98 miles an hour, so you better be aggressive on that heat.
Mike goes back to, we see those numbers and go, man, how do you catch up with that? But, hey, in the big leagues, if that's what you're throwing and they know it's coming, they'll time it, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's nothing better than a 98-mile-an-hour mistake fastball, something up and out over. But when it's located down and away, up and away, those are tough to get to.
Severino at first, 1 down, and that's a ball. Well, Bert Abreu relieved Clark Schmidt, who went 2 innings plus, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, only 1 earned. A walk and 2 strikeouts for him. Abreu came in, got a double play strikeout to end the third.
Abreu hoping for another one of those 2-seam fastballs down in the zone. Will help from his defense again. Try to get out of this inning.
Fouled off on the right side. 1-2 to Richie Martin. 7 for 22 on the spring. Playing second base today. We saw a lot of them at shortstop with the Orioles last year. And as you said, he gets a chance to take a breath, work on his game, right? Get more confidence with the bat.
Yeah, and I think some playing second base might help actually with his internal clock, the ability to slow it down a little bit with a little more time over there.
Check the swing, pitches a ball, count even at 2-2.
He had an opportunity with so many of the young infielders here in camp to work with J.J. Hardy a little bit, who was here all week long. A special time for these players. J.J., of course, 3 Gold Gloves with the Orioles.
Now, did you work with J.J. too to improve your game a little bit this week?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All we did all week was talk shop.
I bet you did. A couple of shortstops, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, because I think we both want the Orioles, obviously, to do well. And what's going to make them better, obviously, is it playing a little bit more sound defensively. So kind of talking about some of the players and what they could potentially improve on.
Last game, that's a strike 3. Got him looking.
And there's that dart, that unhittable fastball, 97 down and away, picking up his spot. Locking Richie Martin up. See the low target.
That's the one you're talking about. Yeah,
there it is. Yeah, that's,
go get it down there. And
Jim Palmer always talks about that pitch, the ability to just go to that anytime you need to.
Yeah. So what was it like for J.J.? Because he said, since he left, he really hadn't been around baseball much, and he was kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I didn't stick around for the ping pong championship this morning, but I know he was excited about the ping pong tourney that was going on.
Wind blowing that thing back into the corner. Malone grabs it, and that'll do it. Yankees lead the Orioles 5-3. We're going to the 5th. Yanks on top.
And take a look at Hunter Harvey's numbers last season. 7 games with, he did pick up a win out of that bullpen. 142 earned run average. 11 punch-outs, 4 walks for Hunter Harvey. 11 punch-outs come from a huge arm, big-time fastball, 98 to 100 miles an hour. So the opponents really struggled getting to him with a 136 overall batting average. Hunter Harvey's got a little slider to go along with it, but his best secondary pitch, it's like his dad, a split-finger fastball, and he throws it hard, low 90s with that split finger. It looks like the fastball coming out of his hand, and then just trap doors right in front of home plate. Harvey, there's been some talk here in camp that, you know, barring obviously his health, potentially could be the closer on this team.
He's got that kind of stuff. You just wonder about the back-to-back days with him, as you know, closers sometimes will pitch 3 days in four games or something, if he can handle that.
And then that won't happen for Hunter Harvey. Not yet anyway. But he is an impact pitcher.
And you see why. 96 right out of the gate.
Yeah, it was fun to watch him pitch last season. The day he stepped foot into the Oriole bullpen, it seemed like that bullpen changed. They realized there was something special there.
Established roles as well, too, right?
Yeah, it really did.
Inside ball 2. You mentioned his dad, Brian Harvey, 177 saves in his career from 1987 to 95. He had a 46 save season with the Angels, a 45 save season with the Marlins. He was nasty, right?
He sure was.
That pitch up a little bit is a foul ball. Nunez can't handle it. Foul ball.
Nunez over there trying to work on some of the angle reads at third base, which are so important. And that read right there, the high chopper, the ability to make a quick first step and really cut that ball down and try to get to that short hop. Fortunately, that one bouncing foul. And he was unable to really reach out there and get that short hop to stick in his glove.
Hunter Harvey, I'll tell you after this, bouncer to short, Iglesias across, and Voigt is down.
Come on, you get a hold of one.
Hey, make it a party. Bring a group of 15 or more to Oriole Park at Camden Yards to enjoy benefits like discounted tickets and unique group experiences, plus hospitality options like pregame parties and private suites. Visit Orioles.com/groups. We went down to Bowie to do a show with the radio guys, and the day before, Hunter Harvey had been converted to the bullpen, and I think this was in early June, and he said, I'm about it. He said, I want to embrace it, because you're thinking a guy that's always been a starter with the electric stuff, maybe a little resistant at first, but he really did seem like, let's see where this goes, and here he is, and he may have found his spot.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to pace yourself as much. You can really be aggressive and come at him, and that just seems to be his makeup. As you see right here, consistently high 90s fastballs, good split finger. He does have that mentality that I think his father had, you know, back in the day as well.
Got to be a little mean in that closer's late inning role, right? You got to have a little spunk in you, come out like you're mad at the world.
Yeah, you really do. You need that type of edge, and he's got it. He is really focused when he goes out on the hill.
Torres 0 for 2, hits that one well. Smith's got to play. Big swing, and he's down.
That's the pitch right there on the righties especially. Go ahead. Hit it as far as you can. I mean, if big Luke Voigt can't knock one out against that stiff wind, nobody can.
At 366, and the gap out there is playing about 420 today, right?
Sure is. Yeah, that flag is stiff.
Says Higashioka trying to win that Yankee backup catcher spot behind Gary Sanchez. 1 for 2 today. Base hit, scored a run in the second inning, then hit a fly ball to center field for an out in the third. 5-3 Yankees. Orioles got 3 in the first. The Yankees came back, put up 3 in the second, and then 2 more in the fourth inning. Took the lead on a 2-run homer from Thomas Malone, who's 2 for 2 with a double and a homer and 3 driven in. Yankees with a split squad today. The other half back home at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, taking on the Atlanta Braves. Yankees 9-5-1 on the grapefruit season. The Orioles 8 wins, 6 losses, and 2 ties. The Bird has made the trip south. Will be soon heading back north.
He will. Says it's going to warm up a little bit more, though, up in Baltimore.
Agree. There's a strike, 2-2.
Now, we talk about so many of the Yankee injuries, but this is the fact that Miguel Andujar is coming back, a potential 30 home run guy. Actually, his rookie season at 27 home runs, but he has some monster arms in that bullpen. You know, with Chapman out there, Zach Britton out there as well. Ottavino. I mean, man, oh man. Just some big-time arms out there in the Yankee bullpen.
Well, you were saying with the injuries, if they wanted to do kind of an opener thing for a month or so with off days, 3 spots here. I mean, the bullpen is so talented, so many hard throwers, doesn't matter left or right. They certainly could put that together.
Yeah, they for sure could.
You get him? Yes, he did. Strike 3. So Hunter Harvey takes care of business. A 1-2-3 inning. Orioles coming back. Yankees on top of the Orioles 5-3 as the Birds come to bat in the bottom of the 5th. Yankees' third pitcher of the day is Luis Medina.
Now, Medina last season pitched in single-A ball in 22 starts. Away with a victory with a 5.47 earned run average, 127 strikeouts in his 103 2/3 innings of work, but the walks mounted with 70. So obviously control and command the issue for this young righty.
He can bring it. Yeah, remember I said you better stay loose. They've got some electric arms, but you talked about the walks. The last 2 years, he's been voted the best fastball in the Yankees minor league system. So he can get it up there. Not always sure where it's going.
Right, yeah, well, that one up and under the chin of Austin Hayes won't make him feel too comfortable.
Orioles down a couple of runs. They jumped out 3-0 in the first, but the Yankees have scored 5 unanswered.
I like a lot of hitters that work their way up through the minor leagues, just learning a more efficient stroke to the baseball, a little bit shorter, a little bit cleaner with less movement. Pitchers have to do the same thing, find a way to clean up their delivery, make it more repeatable. Will certainly help with the command.
Hayes had in the count 3-1. It was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that was wide. One bounced right back to him. A comebacker for the first out. Medina's 20 years old, so he's got some time to find the plate, right? And when he does, look out. And get something a little off speed going with that.
Yeah.
Slider, or develop a curveball or a change.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, ultimately, I think with most young pitchers, it's really harnessing that fastball command, and then you tend to work on your secondary pitches a little bit.
Anthony Santander, 0 for 2, couple of bounce outs.
Pretty sharp breaking ball.
You're looking for 97, 98, and that thing comes tumbling in, right?
Yeah, that's a nice bite. Up and down and in to Anthony.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Wind blowing it away from the left fielder. That's a fair ball. Trey Amberge, you could see him fighting that thing all the way, Mike.
Man, we got a little StatCast here to follow his route to the baseball. That wind was blowing it, doing some tricks. He's playing shallow as well, and he headed out towards that foul pole and way over boogied. Let's take a look at him. Real shallow out in left field. He goes back, then he comes in, then he realizes, oh my gosh, that wind is knocking it down. And Anthony gets some luck there as it falls into fair territory.
Well, Chris Davis comes to the plate as you look at Santander out on second base. Davis has not hurt his on-base percentage today. He had an RBI base hit in the first inning, and then he drew a walk in the third. Came into this game 6 for 12. 3 homers, 8 RBIs, 6 walks, only 2 strikeouts. It scored 6 runs with an OPS of 1.850, and he's only added to that by going 1 for 1 and reaching base both times.
Yeah, real nice to see. Not a lot of anxiety in the box right now for Chris Davis. Very comfortable. He's kind of taking what's given.
Medina with a strike 1 at 96.
I think what's obviously the walks are important for Chris Davis, but the fact that he has low strikeouts, I think just 2 strikeouts here in spring training. You know, he talked about this offseason, the fact that he was going to put on some weight so he didn't have to try to hit home runs. So maybe that's just aiding to the comfort factor in the box. So just the thought process of knowing that he doesn't have to do too much. Just find the barrel.
Asked Brandon Hyde, what are you going to do with your off day tomorrow? And he said, hope it warms up a little bit. I'm thinking a boat. Swing and a miss from Davis. I said, are you a fisherman? He said, no, my son will fish. I'll drive the boat. Brandon Hyde talking about, he said, I haven't even looked at any. Somebody mentioned somebody's doing well, and they said, I haven't looked at stats. He said, I know when a guy has 2 or 3 good at bats, when he grinds them out, hits a couple of balls hard, they might be outs, but I consider those good at bats. And he said, that's kind of what you're looking for down here, more than numbers or what a guy's hitting. Just, you know, how competitive are you? What kind of at bats are you having?
Yeah, and right now it's, you know, at this point in spring training, 25 or so ABs under the belt, just fine-tuning the strike zone a little bit. I think the timing's starting to come around a little bit more for some of these hitters.
2-2 to Davis. Checked his swing. Count is full.
Another good take right there on a nasty breaking ball. Biting sharp down and in, but Davis stays tall. Doesn't really take the eyes down to it, in a good hitting position.
Definitely checked the swing too, yeah. Santander on second. 1 down. Orioles down a couple of runs. It's 5-3 Yankees. And he's reached for the 3rd time today. So an RBI base hit and 2 walks on the afternoon for Chris Davis.
Pretty impressive right there. We talked about this young right-hander for the Yankees with the strong arm, and Davis really not getting anything going. He's seeing the ball first and then pulling the trigger.
And we got a pinch runner for Chris Davis as Taylor Davis checks in, and Chris gets some high fives.
A good day for the Crusher.
So a Davis for a Davis, and 2 on with 1 down as Renato Nunez steps in. Nunez had a looping single to right his first at bat and scored a run, and then hit into a double play. Big swing there, came out of his shoes.
Yeah, he's had some healthy cuts. He's had a problem finding the barrel, though, here in the early parts of spring training. So, you know, you hope maybe just that little bloop he hit down the right field line changes that confidence a little bit, and the eyes stay on that barrel and just get the tracking just a hair longer. He's pulling off just a little bit.
Yeah, helped the pitcher out on that one. And he's down on the count 0-2. They geared up for that heater, and
yeah, for sure. He was thinking that firm fastball right out of the hand. Yeah, really started that swing right when he let go of it.
Oh, 2, 1 down, 2 runners on. Yankees lead the Orioles 5-3. That's a ball.
Quieted himself down nicely right there. A 2-strike approach. Definitely something that hitting coach Don Long has been preaching all spring training when the Orioles go through their batting practice routines. Don Long will scream out situations, and one of the situations that they work on is a 2-strike approach. There's Oriole hitting coach Don Long. Talks heavily about the mental side of the game. Try to keep yourself confident when you step in that box. If you believe you can do something, typically you're able to do it. And unfortunately, with this game of baseball built around failure, just negative thoughts seem to surround players. Don Long's all about that positive side of the game.
So if hitters fail 70% of the time, right? I mean, if you're a 300 hitter, that is, shouldn't pitchers be very confident because they're getting you out 70%?
Right?
Doesn't always work that way.
No,
right?
no, for sure. Sometimes those noises, loud noises off the bat, even though it isn't a base hit, could scare a pitcher.
Mm-hmm. It's 2-2 to Nunez. 31 homers for him last year, and he got him on a breaking ball.
Oh, more hittable breaking ball right here. Stays in the strike zone just a hair longer, but take a look at that front side of Nunez and his head position. This pulls out. That front hit leaves, and there's not enough bat left to make contact.
So it's left up to Jose Iglesias. He had an infield hit in the first inning and then struck out in the third. Anxious to see him over the course of the season dig in at shortstop and make the plays he's capable of.
Boy, he can make some pretty impressive, entertaining defensive plays. A skill set like I've never seen before. The things he can do with the glove and the hand. I think we ought to have a special just on some of his magic tricks out there with the baseball and the glove. But the Orioles really ultimately looking for some consistency out there in the middle of the field, and they think that the veteran shortstop can bring that.
And we talked to him, Michael, at last game where he said he's really embracing trying to be a leader on that infield to some of the younger players and make them better.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think player that's been around close to 10 years now at the major league level, all of his experience can do nothing but help, I think, some of these younger players.
Places head of the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball up high, and it's 3-0. Just to remind you to stay a little loose. Medina getting it up there, 96, 97, but the location sometimes suspect.
Oh, for sure. And showing some good patience, not trying to do too much here and into this favorable count. The Orioles need some more base runners, and why not get into that pass the baton routine right now.
4-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded.
Dwight Smith Jr., who's hit the ball hard a couple times. A better matchup right here.
Medina kind of collects himself, takes a little walk behind the mound. Urena pinch runs down at first base. So Iglesias' day is done. Tyne runs on at second. The lead run at first.
Pulled the string on a little changeup right there to Smith Jr. Looking to do some damage right there. First pitch, a little ambush swing. But
yeah, I think he remembers what Smith did on the first pitch in the first inning, right? When he hit a rope, knocked in a run. He's hit the ball hard twice. His second at bat, LeMahieu made that terrific play. That's inside, 1-1.
Good block right there. One thing pitchers love is to be able to trust their catchers.
Yeah,
spike one of those breaking balls. And take a look, a tough one too. It's coming in hot, makes his body big.
Count even, 1-1, 2 down, bases loaded. Yankees lead the Orioles 5-3. That's wide, 2-1. Luis Medina, 20-year-old right-hander from the Dominican, with the best fastball in the Yankees minor league system the last 2 years. We've seen that. Bounce foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Severino on deck.
Well, the changeup right there. Get back into the count. Nice to see a young pitcher with that kind of confidence in the
all right, you're at the plate, Mike Bordick. You got to be looking for the heater, right, and adjust.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't get off a heater when the guy's flipping it in there 97 miles an hour and up. It's going to make sure you stay in a good hitting position.
Dwight Smith Jr. steps out now. He's ready to go. Comes the 2-2. Bounced up the middle, and they won't be able to make a play. Clyburn Torres got a hand on it. I'm not sure he would have gotten anybody, even if he fielded it cleanly. What do you think, Mike?
Well, he didn't go after it full speed for one. Here, nice job by Smith Jr. Just put it in play. Do what you can. And I'm a firm believer in glove-to-hand transfer unless that ball is dead. This one kind of bouncing through. with runners on base. I think he's definitely got the skill set to make that transfer, but it's a little late getting there. I think a poor decision by Torres once again at shortstop.
Dilson Herrera pinch runs for Dwight Smith. Severino takes a strike. So Brandon Hyde going to his bench. Davis, Urena, and Herrera have pinch run this inning for Chris Davis, Jose Iglesias, and Dwight Smith Jr. One-run game now, 5-4 Yankees. Orioles got them loaded. A ball and a strike to Pedro Severino. Severino with a sacrifice fly RBI in the first inning. And then he had a base hit to left field in the fourth. So 1 for 1 with an RBI.
Now some good ABs, a couple walks in this inning. Dwight Smith Jr. did knock the cover off the ball right there, but good things happen when you put it in play. And I think one of those lessons learned here for the Orioles especially, strikeouts don't do you much good when you got runners on base.
That's hit hard. Loved at third. The throw across in time. Nice play by Herrera down at third base. Orioles get one to cut the Yankee lead to 5-4. Teaching visual arts to elementary and middle school students. The Education Foundation of Sarasota County named Heather the 2020 Sarasota County Teacher of the Year. As a teacher, she views her classroom as an extraordinary, fair space for teaching problem solving. We thank Heather for her commitment to serving the youth of our community.
Orioles going to the bullpen. Richard Blyer coming out. See last season's numbers at .537 earned run average. Of course, Richard Blyer recovering, I think, all year long from some shoulder surgery or back surgery, and just couldn't quite get into a rhythm. Now, typically a high ground ball percentage. Last year had it as well, but the hard hit rate was a little bit higher for Blyer.
Bounce down to third, and they're one down.
That's what you're going to see.
Orioles with some changes. There's Dilson Herrera. He's in left field. Urena is now the shortstop, replacing Iglesias. Taylor Davis for Chris Davis as we swap Davises down at first base. And Stevie Wilkerson, I believe, is in center field now. Yeah, Austin Wins behind the plate. Got that, Mike? You got all that?
I got it.
Okay, I might need you. Let's go out to Rob Long. Hey, Rob.
Hey, I'm in the bullpen right now, in the bullpen area with Chris Davis. He says he's starting to feel like CD again. How you feeling, big guy?
I feel good. I feel really good. I feel like I'm kind of starting to hit my stride at the plate. I've had a couple of days off with the long road trips and back-to-back away games, and it's good to get back in there and get some more bats.
And one of the things people always talk about when you start lifting weights and lifting heavy again, it's all about strength, physical strength. I don't think they realize how much confidence that gives you mentally. I think that's where you are right now.
No doubt, and I think it's not just confidence, but just peace of mind, knowing that you've done everything that you possibly can to prepare yourself for success. And you know, I think just doing some things that I was familiar with, things that were comfortable to me, and things that I really look forward to and enjoy doing have made a big difference.
Now, what's the difference between this spring training as opposed to the last two?
I just feel stronger. I feel like overall I'm in better control of my body. I feel more in control at the plate. I'm not trying to do too much, and being aggressive, you know, from the get-go. Not going up there taking a lot of pitches, but being ready to hit from the moment I step foot in the box.
For that comeback player of the year candidate in 2020. Thanks a lot, CD. Back to you, Scott, and 40.
All right, thanks, Rob. Chris Davis, terrific day today. Just getting ahead in counts, worked a couple of walks, had an RBI base hit, again, left field, right?
Yeah, you love to see it, and you love the fact that Davis kind of reiterating what we've been talking about, just that confidence in the box.
And Richard Blyer mows him down in a hurry. Orioles coming to the plate down one.
To Austin Hayes, what we can call Pigpen. Now, we hear you have some, there's a story all about you with Alan Mills and your ability to track dirt.
Yeah, Alan Mills had asked me back in, I think it was 2016 after I had gotten drafted, and I was playing in October down here for Instructional League. And he's like, hey, man, I got a question for you. I heard you can get dirty in a tub. Is that true?
Well, last year we could have called you the human highlight film. We know you're good out in the center field, but how do you feel at the plate this year?
I feel good. I'm just trying to find the consistency right now. I'll have a couple of bats where I feel good, and then I'm getting a little jumpy. So just trying to find that consistency from pitch to pitch and just get in a rhythm.
One thing with young players, you're going to make mistakes, but it's always good to know the mistakes that you make. That's when you know you're gaining some knowledge. Is that where you are right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm able to tell when things are right and when adjustments need to be made, and when you got to keep working at something until you find that, like I said, that rhythm and feel where you're just kind of on autopilot. You know, you're just locked in. So that's what spring training's about, just finding that groove again.
What's your relationships with the veteran players? What are they telling you?
Oh, I love being around all these guys. I love having Trey around. He's a great mentor to be able to talk to just about what you're trying to do in spring training, what you're trying to feel, how to go about your business. So it's great having him around and him lending me a ear.
What's the one thing that you feel like you're better at this year than you were last year this time?
I would say defensively. I think I'm picking up at a really good place right now defensively where I'm at. Just being able to take my head off of the ball, put it down, run to a spot. That was something that I've been working on for a few years, and I think it's starting to show up.
Well, Bordy, if this guy could get better defensively than what we saw last year, he's going to be pretty good. Back to you guys.
You got that right. He shows off some Gold Glove caliber plays out there in center field. Great emotion as well. And Austin Hayes still working on that consistency at the plate, though, and I think that's
I heard him say
a lifetime struggle.
Get a little jumpy at times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Trevor Lane on the mound. The Yankees only left-hander, I believe, on their travel squad today.
Yeah, went through 3 levels last season, pitching up to AAA with that 205 earned run average, 74 innings with the 74 punch-outs. Nice little cut fastball. And pretty good changeup to go along with it. You see that live arm at 95.
Yeah, Rob Long is with a guy that had a nice clean inning today. Hello, Rob.
I'm back here with Hunter Harvey. Scott, I told you I was earning my meal money today. Hunter Harvey right now. Hunter, I told Hunter I'm going to grow the mullet. Only thing is I won't have any hair around here. Can I do that?
I mean, you can still rock it.
Still rock it?
Wear a hat. Just be safe. Wear a hat.
How'd you feel today?
I felt good. You know, just trying to work on the off speed and try to get everything consistent. So it's feeling good. Arm's feeling good. So it's all in all, it's good.
It looks to me like you haven't really let it go yet. Are you still in that? Like, I'm not going to let it rip just yet. I'm saving that for opening day.
There's something about the games that really count that I just get another level. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I'm letting it go. But this is my spring training form here. So,
are you working on anything? You don't have to tell us what, but are you working on anything new?
Really, just like I said, trying to be consistent with off speed and make it more competitive. And if you fall behind, you kind of need that stuff to get out some counts sometimes. So just working on it and trying to get it better.
You like this bullpen role, don't you?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
What's different about this than the starter? Why do you embrace it so much?
It's 1 inning and 1, maybe 2 innings, and it's everything you got. You don't have to worry about setting guys up as much. You can just go and attack them. So I enjoy that a lot more than trying to make it 6, 7 innings.
And the good thing I like about this, Scott, he was out here putting Richard Blige in his place a little bit earlier today. Richard Blige trying to pull that veteran role on you. You weren't having it, were you?
Not with Richard. We're too good buddies, so I can say some stuff to him. So.
Hey, I know one thing, Rob. Those guys in the bullpen get real close.
They are the best. I love being out here, Scott. Just listen to the conversation, things that I won't share here, but I just love listening to it, man. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Rob. Hunter Harvey, 2 innings, two strikeouts, and just taking care of business. Diaz up the middle for a base hit. It does get through. Hard turnaround first, and he'll hustle back.
I'd like to see that for Diaz. He's had his struggles here in spring training, just kind of trying to find his rhythm and timing as well. A little setback early on when he strained his left shoulder a little bit. So take one right back through the box. That's pretty much the best way to go about it. I think at times when hitters in spring training lose their timing or they're searching for it, stay to the big part of the field.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Diaz now 3 for 15 on the spring. Came in 2 for 12. At base hit, 1 on, 1 down. Lane, the lefty, on the mound for the Yankees. Here's Stevie Wilkerson.
Hunter Harvey looked pretty good today. I love his composure. I mean, he's got that poise out there on the mound like he's been through it.
That ball is well hit. Center field back. And Florio makes the play, 2 down.
Yeah, tough to cut that win today. I thought Richie Martin, that ball he hit first debut of this inning, was going to get out there pretty good. But the wind, of course, parachuted that one up as well.
Looks like the spot now, Bordy, is right center, right? Everything's kind of blown out that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Might be able to knock a 2-iron through that wind, though. Get on top of one.
Anthony Santander from the right side now against the left-hander. Santander with a double in the 5th inning scored the Orioles' 4th run. And he got it going when he showed up last year, didn't he? Didn't take him long to start hitting the ball.
Yeah, quite a turnaround, and really, I don't know if it was anything more than just his work ethic changing a little bit. I mean, he put his time in on a daily basis, had a great routine going with Don Long and Howie Clark at the time, and came with his lunch bucket every day.
Nice.
And, great example for younger players, and it's something you hope that sticks with him the rest of his career. I mean, in this game, you really have to work. You have to work to try to get better on a daily basis, and he did that last year. Had great consistency really the whole way through.
So opportunity plus work ethic equals arrival, right? He's got a chance now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Rule 5, and, you know, he was around, but there were injuries, and he was just kind of there. And then last year, as Mike said, he got that opportunity, and he seized it. Now, can he build on that, right? Now the next step, he showed up, and now you got a little book on him. But he's a switch hitter. He's got power. A lot to like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the fact that he really established a proper work routine last year is why he's just going to get better. And it really should. I don't expect anything less from Santander unless for some reason he decides not to work at it.
Ripped foul. Look out, Rob Long. That's over where Rob was. Hang in there. And I guess the defense, he's probably never going to be a Gold Glove outfielder, but as you said, the work ethic has made him a very serviceable left fielder, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Orioles, the new outfield coach, Anthony Sanders, the first base coach right now, and he's an intense guy that demands, you know, proper work habits out there. And every day he's going to be holding these guys accountable to try to make them better.
Diaz down at first, 2 down here in the Orioles' 6th inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Anthony Santander. There's Anthony Sanders. Sanders, the first base coach. Jose David Flores, the third base coach for the Birds. Lane with the 2-2 line right to the third baseman, and that'll end the inning for the Orioles. Yankees still lead at 5-4. There's Adam Hall, one of the top-ranked prospects in the system, number 5 according to Keith Law. And we know his dad Tyler and mom Helen are watching at home. That did a great story about him and the family at Delmarva last year. There's his dad Tyler. So our best wishes to Adam and the family, Tyler and mom Helen. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today, and got to be a thrill to see your son wearing that Orioles uniform.
Oh, I'm sure it is. That was an amazing story, by the way. Man, oh man, the bond that they have is incredible, and good to see him on the bench today. Hopefully he gets some playing time here at the end, because he is a talented young shortstop. Take a look at Sean Armstrong's numbers from last year, and into 55 games with that .574 earned run average, 63 punch-outs in 58 innings. He has got a good arm. Fortunately, too many mistakes. See the righties get to a clip of 324 overall.
Sounds like a broken bat there. Yeah, we're going to need a little new lumber as he got in on Trey Ambergy.
That's the thing, working that inner third. You got to get it in there. Fastball mid-90s with the heater, his favorite pitch, but he can cut it as well. Rush it in there about 90 miles an hour with a little lateral movement. At times it'll have some tilt like a true slider. Every now and then he'll flip a curveball in there.
He had 4 saves last year with the Orioles. Bordy, even though he's been around, he's 29. but I think half of his major league games, he had like 54 games last year. That's half of his major league total. So he's learning too, even at an advanced age, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Came over from Seattle, and yeah, he's got a great opportunity to really thrive. And there are a lot of times when it just takes a little extra time for some guys to lock in. And the Orioles are hoping that Armstrong's one of those arms.
Made his major league debut in 2015 with the Cleveland Indians. Had a cup of coffee in 16 and 17 with Cleveland, but really kind of a breakthrough year last year where he really got a chance. And he had some crazy numbers against left-hand hitters last year. Left-hand hitters, 205 batting average against him, but against right-handers, they hit 324 against him.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
1-2 pitch. Fouled back into the screen.
But he's intense. He works hard at his craft for sure. I caught him all by himself one morning out on the mounds, and I saw him in the weight room later that day. I said, "He didn't have a catcher out there." He goes, "No, I was just kind of visualizing some stuff." He was going through this whole, motion and everything.
Bounced up the middle. Martin out of his hands in a hurry for the out. Major League Baseball is always live with the MLB app. Follow the Baltimore Orioles with game tracking and video highlights, along with up-to-the-moment stats, standings, news, and more. Get the #1 app for live baseball. Download MLB today. I mean, that looks like a routine 4-3 in the scorebook, Mike, but you just see what Richie Martin has, right? In
yeah,
the
this is over on the shortstop side right here. The little chopper. He'll shift it a little bit, but gets his weight on that backside, catches it clean, and it almost looks like a double play turn for Richie Martin. Flip it to second base, but that guy has got a cannon for an arm, and he made that one look pretty darn routine.
Thomas Malone at the plate. He's had himself a day. Doubled in the second inning and then gave the Yankees a lead with a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. And if you're wearing a number 93 and you can have a day like that, people are going to notice, right?
Boy, that's what he wants to do, right? He signed with the Yankees as a free agent, minor league free agent. Used to be with Tampa, former 3rd-round pick back in 2013. So he's scraping and clawing, kind of grinding his way through.
Ooh, and that one just eats up Martin. Base hit as it rolls into right field. He's hit the ball hard again, and Thomas Malone is 3 for 3.
Yeah, he's using the whole field. Coast to coast, right? Went down that left field line in the 1st inning, and here, this is coming in hot. You better be ready for it. Richie Martin trying to slide to that backside. That ball getting underneath him. These harder hit balls, kind of a rule of thumb. Harder it's hit, the lower you get. You got to try to get those eyes behind the baseball as quickly as possible. That one ended up getting underneath. And only could flag it with the glove.
Here's DJ LeMahieu leading off and playing second for the Yankees today. Reached on an error in the 1st inning, then hit one out to the warning track in center. His second at bat in the 4th inning. Got him with the breaking ball there.
Yeah, beautiful pitch. Now that's his cutter kind of slider hybrid. A little bit of tilt on that one, but 91 miles an hour with that kind of movement. So every hitter sees that as the fastball coming out of the hand of Armstrong.
Just talk about the slurve, right? The combo curve slider, and then you've got the cutter, and how does that vary from the slider on some guys, right?
Yeah, cutters are more lateral type moving pitches. A true slider has a little tilt at the end where it'll go down and away. A lot of pitchers just it seems like more pitchers now work that cutter, but at times they'll get out in front a little bit, and you'll see that natural tilt on it.
0-2 to LeMahieu. Ooh, he got him. Painted it.
Yeah, well done right there. I mean, great execution really with all of his pitches, and the cutter actually setting up this fastball. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It's a straight one hanging right on that outside corner, but LeMahieu's expecting it to bust off the plate. A great sequence right there. Nicely done by Austin Wynns behind the plate in game calling, and even better execution by Armstrong.
2 down, a runner on, and this is Luke Voigt. He hit one, broke into his home run trot, and suddenly said, uh-oh, I better start running, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Single to the top of the wall.
Yeah, a big Luke Voigt here. I mean, this guy is a monster. Hit a ton of home runs last year for the Yankees, and he thought he got into one, cutting that win, but it hit off the top of the wall. Ends up finding himself at first base. Sometimes it can be a humbling game.
Popped up out of play, back over our heads. 8,017 here today at Ed Smith Stadium, and that is the second sellout of the spring. The Orioles and Yankees, like we said, a little mini preview of opening day 2 weeks from Thursday. The Yankees at Camden Yards as we kick off the 2020 season.
They're going to bring as many guys with 90s on their back?
I don't think so. I think there'll be some different guys there. I mean, LeMahieu, Voigt, and Gleyber Torres, obviously, we'll see them opening day, but a lot of these number 90s will be elsewhere.
Right. But another start to the season without Stanton, and it doesn't look like Judge is going to be around for a while. I saw
I mean,
Gary Sanchez came out with the bad back yesterday.
I mean, you know the Yankees have resources, and we talked about all those guys they plugged in that did so well. I mean, LeMahieu wasn't plugged in, but he had a sensational year. Little tapper. Guns it to first, and Austin wins. Gets the third out of the inning. Here come the Orioles. They're still... The Yankees lead the Orioles 5-4 as we head out to check in with Rob Long.
Guys, one of the players that I was determined to keep my eye on in spring training was Oriole left fielder Dwight Smith Jr. If you recall, his first month in the majors last year came out like gangbusters, and after the injury, he fell off considerably offensively, finishing it out at 241. There were also questions about his defense. Well, he's worked very hard, and I watched him in spring training on the defense and throwing the baseball, and he's off to a good start. He went 2 for 3 with a couple of RBI today, so Dwight Smith Jr. is trying to prove that after a subpar 2019 season, a subpar finish, that he couldn't be an everyday left fielder in the bigs.
All right, thank you, Rob. Fans enjoying the 7th inning stretch here. Yankees lead the Orioles 5-4. They've got those young, hard-throwing right-handers from the Dominican lined up, and now Heel, the latest, who can hump it up there pretty good.
Yeah, another one on the bump. Go back to what Rob was talking about, though, with Dwight Smith Jr. I'll tell you what, he's been squaring up the baseball here in spring training once again. Talked about how last year he hit his way onto the big league club and really working hard to make those improvements defensively. So, yeah, he's one of those guys the Orioles looking forward to him making those steady, consistent improvements, but ultimately it comes down to health for Dwight Smith Jr.
We had 20-year-old Luis Medina, now Luis Heel, 21 years old.
Yeah, he's another slinger, man. You can bring it up in there. Take a look at his numbers last year in single A, the 20 games, 20 starts, 5 wins with that 2.72 earned run average, 123 punch-outs in 96 innings of work. Oh, yeah, he's got one of those power arms.
And this is Taylor Davis. He pinch ran for Chris Davis. Chris Davis had himself another good game. Base hit RBI in the first inning, and then a couple of walks. There's the breaking ball up high.
I'll tell you what, man, if Chris Davis can stay consistent with that mindset, stay strong in the box, feel that confidence, man, oh man, it would be, who knows, it might get back to filling up the stadium there with the crusher. You know, he had some unbelievable seasons just a few years ago, hitting the 50-plus home runs, Silver Slugger Award, and Gold Glove caliber type first base. So, yeah, it's nice he's in a good place mentally right now for this team. And it could be an incredible offensive force once again. At least that's what the hope is.
That's a ball 4, and the tying run is on. Well, we got a whole bunch of Yankees now as they change their defense. Isaiah Gilliam is in right field. There is Alvarez. He's taken over for Herrera at third base. Josh Smith for Torres at shortstop. Duran is now the second baseman, replacing LeMahieu. And Max Bird is at first base. Max Burt, the first baseman. That's Burt for Voigt at first base. Got that, Mike Bordick? You're in charge of these changes now.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. All I know is
nothing like the 7th and 8th inning
right?
in a game when the rosters are large, right?
Well, it's tough, obviously, to keep track of the names, but you appreciate these incredible opportunities for so many of these younger players. You know, the Yankees having the split squad game, so had to reach down in the minor leagues, pull a few more players over to help the rosters out. And in some cases, these are dreams come true for a lot of these younger players. Just incredible opportunities to, you know, hey, if in this ball game, one of these young players makes a play or does something good, and next thing you know, one of the coaches goes back and talking about him in the locker room, and Aaron Boone, who are you talking about? Well, that's how players get more opportunities, get their name circulating a little bit.
Rondon for Nunez. A ball and 2 strikes to him. Runner down at first, nobody down. They got him. Chased a breaking ball upstairs.
Yeah, a little backup slider, the old cement mixer that stayed up at the top of the strike zone. Take a look right here. The foot gets down, a little bit of a buckle. Just a hair late on the elevated breaking ball.
Off the end of the bat, Urena just taps it over toward the Yankee dugout. That's a strike looking.
Pretty good pitch right there.
Yeah.
Backdoor slider.
Was heel at A-ball Charleston last year. 17 starts, went 4-5 with a 2.39 ERA, 112 Ks in 83 innings, and that'll get the runner into scoring position. So the wild pitch gets Davis to second.
A couple good breaking balls to take full advantage of the count, and then just overthrows a fastball. Almost takes the kneecaps off of Urena right there. The catcher can't even draw leather on it. The tying run out there in scoring position.
Now the catcher.
Oh, we forgot to go over the sign with the runner at second base. Get on the same page here. A little surprised that the middle infielder, especially the shortstop, doesn't come in when the catcher comes out in those type of situations with a runner at second base. It's kind of obvious that you have to go over the signs, and as a middle infielder, typically you'd want to know what's coming. Yeah. You know, anticipate a little bit better.
1-2 to Urena. Time to run at second. 1 down. Yankees lead at 5-4. Orioles got 3 in the first. Yankees came back, scored 2 in the 4th inning to take the lead. Took the lead on a 2-run homer from Thomas Malone. All back into the screen. Count stays at 1-2.
Yeah, good pass on that fastball. Well located, but a little elevated too much. Gave Urena a good chance to drive that ball to left field.
I meant to ask you about yesterday. Orioles lost 1-0 to the Rays on the road, but Bruce Zimmerman 3 scoreless innings to start, right?
I'm telling you, the pitching has been outstanding lately. You know, it happened about, I don't know, I'd say 8 or 10 games ago when pitching coach Doug Brocail just started jumping into some pitchers. Said, listen, I know it's early in spring training, but you better be aggressive in the strike zone. And these guys have been in attack mode ever since. It's been so much fun to watch. I mean, just aggressive. Handhold looked good again. Mentioned Zimmerman, 3 strong innings. I mean, yeah, these guys.
Handhold struck out the side in his inning, right?
Oh, he's been really impressive down here in spring training.
5 innings for him. Hasn't given up a run this spring.
Yeah, Cody Carroll as well. Been throwing the ball very well. Of course, Carroll came over in that Zach Britton trade. Big arm. And last year, some major setbacks with some injuries, but looks phenomenal here in spring training. Was getting up there at 99 miles an hour yesterday.
The bullpen was so bad last year, Mike, and you're starting to see if Hunter Harvey, you can cement him in there, whether it's the 8th inning or the 9th inning. and Givens and Blyer healthy, and some of the names that you mentioned, Cody Carroll maybe, they got a chance to be pretty good out there, and certainly a lot better than last year.
Well, I think there's obviously great potential, but I think Brandon Hyde and Doug Brokaw and Mike Elias are kind of looking at this as a couple levels. Looking at AAA as well. They're going to need some interchangeable parts, obviously, at times to be realistic with some things. They sent back the Rule 5 picks.
There's a shot right at the shortstop, and that'll be a double play. So he hit it on the nose, but a line drive double play, and the Orioles are out in the 7th. With you. Nice afternoon at the ballpark, though.
Yeah, beautiful. Cole Sulser now into the ball game. Last season, Tampa got into 7 ball games and came away with nothing for an earned run average, 9 punch-outs and 7 innings of work. Sulser, a pretty good arm, low to mid-90s fastball, slider and change to go along with it.
He holds the major league record, Mike. He has the lowest ERA in the history of baseball. He's pitched 7 1/3 innings, 9 Ks, no earned runs. Nothing but zeros across.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So he's 30 years old. Pretty good story. A guy that, just stuck with it and made his major league debut last year with Tampa.
Well, in a lot of ways, that's what this game's about. The ability to grind through, and you love the game, so you work hard at it, and eventually opportunities tend to show up.
How many times, if you're 30 and just getting here, look out, one of them back over our head, how many times was he at a crossroads where he maybe could have said, you know what, may not be happening, time to move on to the next phase, and you got that inner motor that says, I'm going. I love this game. I'm going to keep grinding.
That's it. It's the passion for the game. You love it so much. It brings you out there on a daily basis. And fortunately for Sulser, good things happened. Obviously last year, I think the Orioles fortunate to have him in camp. It seems like anybody that comes out of that Tampa organization's got some pretty nifty skills. Nice little pickup right there on the slider. Hard slider down in the dirt, hits his target. A change up actually. Yeah, beautiful pitch.
Got Duran swinging. This is Sands, swing and a miss from him. Pop back out of play.
I'll tell you what, if he can locate with that fastball, he's going to put up good numbers with the Orioles this year as well. Moving around nicely right now with a couple good secondary pitches.
Oh, 2, going right back at him.
Climbing the ladder. Well done. You see the gesture of approval from Austin Wynns back there calling for the high fastball. A tough pitch. I know it seems like that four-seam fastball at the top of the strike zone has become in vogue with the launch angles being created by hitters now. A little bit of dip in their swings, but it's hard to execute that pitch, and especially the one that rides right at the top or just out of the strike zone. I think that's been a money pitch since day one in the game of baseball. But the ability to execute it consistently, and he did right there.
So tell me if I got this right. I keep hearing that the modern swing is more of an uppercut, right? Trying to get launch angle, and so they're teaching guys to throw that four-seam up top, right?
Yeah, up at that upper third of the strike zone, right? It seems like I don't know. I don't see it as much actually at the major league level. I think guys get tested with 95-mile-an-hour fastballs so frequently that they have to stay short to the baseball, and more big league hitters than not kind of control the strike zone better. But I know coming up through the minor leagues that the four-seam fastball is being preached, and the fact that the balls are a little bit juiced, guys are trying to hit more home runs. So there is potential to expose some hitters up there at the top of the strike zone. Yeah, and I think the new wave or the new philosophy about this launch angle is the thought that you really have to kind of get underneath the baseball. I'm still on the belief that, yeah, you create launch angle, but it's where you catch it out in front of the plate. You still kind of have to be short to the baseball, and then it's just that adjustment you make with how clean you catch it out front. A lot of young hitters are starting to create that launch angle a little too early, and that leaves the whole top of the strike zone wide open.
I've looked at Bill Ripken's book. He gets into a lot of the old school versus analytics, and he said there's swing path and there's launch angle, and we get confused because launch angle is actually the angle that the ball comes off the bat, and the swing path could actually be down and the launch angle could be up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I read Billy's book. Pretty interesting book. Another good pitch right there from Sulser.
Yeah, a couple of strikeouts for him as Sands goes down.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Let's take a look at it. So a nice job moving the fastball around. Then goes to another quality secondary pitch. Looked like the slider down and away. And you work off that fastball and have command with your secondary pitches. Good things are going to happen.
2 down in the Yankee 8th. And a swing and a miss from Pereira. Everson Pereira, number 96, pinch hitting. He's all business out there, Mike.
Boy, command of everything. Yeah. First pitch cutter, four-seam fastball.
Like a slider there off the plate.
It looks good. And once again, another pitcher in attack mode.
So Doug Brocale, they were listening, right? He got after him. And how about that? Struck out the side. Sulser gets a 1-2-3. Orioles coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 1. Come the Orioles in the 8th. A couple of young fans enjoying a beautiful day at the ballpark here at Ed Smith Stadium. And the Yankees trot out their 6th pitcher of the afternoon.
Vizcaíno into the ball game. Another single A arm. Wow. Yankees bringing some of the young guns here into town. 6 wins last season in his 21 starts with that .438 earned run average. And another high strikeout guy. This one, though, a little bit lower walk rate. Only 38 walks in his 115 innings of work. I like watching these young arms. Unfortunately, with the Yankees, though, expect to see him in the next few years.
There's Donnie Sands behind the plate. The Orioles have put so much into their international scouting system, and we're seeing the Yanks run out one pitcher after the other, Dominican, and young talented arms, and that's what the Orioles are hoping they can be there in 2 or 3, 4 years when these kids start maturing, that they're drafting and scouting now.
Absolutely. Really part of the foundation, I think, of the Mike Elias restructure here with the Orioles is the development, obviously, of the international market and the farm system, and they've been in it wholeheartedly here this season and over the off season, so it's on its way, which is exciting.
Dilson Herrera takes outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Orioles could use a base runner. They're down a run here, 5-4, bottom half of the 8th inning. Orioles with a rare off day tomorrow, but as Mike said, there will be action here. There will be guys throwing and guys trying to get their work in, right?
Yeah, for sure. And today, Sunday, it was a little quiet in the weight room. I wouldn't be surprised if some guys come in for a workout as well.
So there's the leadoff runner on base as Herrera reaches on a walk. Bring Austin Wynns to the plate. He's not going to sneak up on anybody with those 2 orange gloves. Righty against righty here. Wynns takes a strike.
And every one of these young arms rushing up there 95 and up with the fastball.
Yankees have used 6 pitchers, 5 right-handers, and Trevor Lane the only left-hander. They got to the starter, Clark Schmidt, for 3 runs. Only one of those was earned. It was an attempt at a check swing, but he couldn't stop in time. And it's 0-2 to Wynns.
That was a nasty changeup. My goodness.
Now you're in protect mode.
Should be.
Doesn't happen as much as it should, though, right, Mike? Oh, that gets away from the catcher. And Herrera around second. See if we can get a shot of the on-deck circle. I've had this pet peeve about there are like 4 bats, pine tar, weights. Take a look at that. Look at that junk. Why doesn't baseball have a rule that the on-deck hitter can bring one thing out there and he's responsible? If somebody's going to break an ankle, this has been going on for years. I scream about it all the time. We talk about player safety and look at that stuff.
You can't break up a double play, but my gosh, you can have a junkyard over by the dugout.
Absolutely.
Risk injury there. I agree.
I've been screaming about that for years, but nobody's listening. I'm glad to hear that you are, Mike. So 1-2 now, the count. Austin wins. Tying run at second, nobody down. Play on, look out. Got back in time. Ball was dropped anyway.
A little risky, but you like the courage. A young pitcher turning and picking right there.
Is that call from the bench?
Not exactly sure. You never know. They may have been teammates as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times infielders can, control a running game as well. At least give them responsibility to do that.
1-2 pitch. Got him. Ball in the dirt. They'll have to throw down to first. No advance. So 1 down.
Boy, another good changeup right there. So he's popping the mid-95 and up with that fastball, and then pulls the string twice on Austin Wins, and the bottom dropping out.
Yeah, a little bottom out on that one. You're right.
Oh, and the catcher catches a break. He drops down, and it goes through the 5-hole, but catches the umpire's shin guard and bounces back. Man.
That could have been first and third. Nobody out, right?
Yes.
Richie Martin at the plate, 0 for 3. Bounced out in the first, struck out looking in the fourth, and hit a fly ball to left. It was caught in the 6th inning. Yusniel Diaz on deck. 1 down here in the Oriole 8th. Oh, drops down a bunt. No play for the third baseman, and good job as Herrera, not too aggressive, rounding third. He held the bag, and the Orioles have him on the corner.
Boy, great job by Richie Martin. Talked about looking pretty good at the plate here this spring training. A lot of tools in his belt offensively, and the utilization of speed, definitely one of them. Nice job establishing that bat angle, perfectly placed on that third base line. And a lot of times it's just a direction. The third baseman was even in, but Richie Martin's speed is blazing. One of the fastest guys in the major leagues last season.
Well, let's see if Diaz can get him home. Orioles down 5-4. Runners on the corners. 1 out. That's a ball. Yusniel Diaz, a couple of fly balls to right field, and then had a base hit up the middle in the 6th inning.
Yeah, kind of stepping in the bucket a little bit that first pitch. Love to see him stay strong to that right center part of the field.
This is going to tie it up. Fire to first, and it's wide. Bad collision. It's like everybody's okay. Martin around third. He'll hang on. Ouch. Big collision at first base. Diaz stretching. Appears to be all right. Herrera scores on the play to tie the game at 5. Richie Martin gets all the way around to third.
Yeah, a little chopper right here. Diaz flying down the line. Then a collision right there at first base. Surprised.
Max Bird.
One of them got hurt. Take a look. The pitcher just yoinks and away. Effort just jumping into the baseline. High risk of injury right there for both guys. The Orioles able to tie it up. Richie Martin standing over at third base. See him with a smile on his face. Quite a collision.
Zach Jarrett into pinch run. That ball gets away. Here comes Martin. The flip, and they got him. A little too aggressive. It didn't get that far away from Sands. And the pitcher heads up there to cover.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Orioles have been working on this all spring training. Brandon Hyde's definitely going to give him knuckles on the effort. Mitch Murd with a beautiful bunt here in this inning, kind of extend it. A real good secondary lead. He got out there and anticipated it. And that's exactly what you like to see. It just didn't quite get off the dirt. The other day when Brandon Hyde was teaching this process, said if that ball just gets off the dirt, you can score every time. Pretty nice play by the young pitcher.
And they got him at second. So the pinch runner picked off to end the inning. But the Birds do tie it up. They got to run across. We're tied at 5, going to the 9. High game, Mike. I thought he was in.
Yeah, I think he was too. Unfortunately, no replays here in spring training. Take a look at the right hand getting in there before the tag. A little over aggressive in that inning. The Orioles base running, but yeah, unfortunately, didn't quite go their way. Able to tie it up, though. Tanner Scott now into the ball game. 28 games last season with that .478 earned run average. All about control and command for Scott. The stuff is big league. Incredible fastball and slider, both on the power side of things, 95 and up. But just to be able to harness the command a little bit, and this guy will skyrocket.
Fastball down low. There's Zach Jarrett. Just got picked off when maybe he was in there, but he's out in right field. Adam Hall is the shortstop now, and then Urena moves over to second base. So Adam Hall getting some action. We talked about his parents watching the game. I'm sure mom and dad proud. Dad Tyler, mom Helen. Glad to see number 89 out there. He's ranked as high as number 5 in the Oriole prospect list. Heat there from Tanner Scott.
Yeah, he can bring the noise a little bit.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And he got him. Did not like the call, but caught the outside corner. Tanner Scott's got the first out. That's 5 straight strikeouts by Oriole pitchers.
You know, dotted the cheese ball down and away. Well received by Austin Wynns back there, locking it up. Didn't quite hit the spot, but Wynns catches it clean.
5 of the last 6, I'm sorry. Cole Salser struck out the side last inning. This is Lockridge. Brandon Lockridge, number 78 at the plate.
Well, that one came in heavy.
And bouncer foul, and Tanner Scott jumps out 0-2.
Really the key, and it has been the key here for the recent success by most of the Oriole pitchers, that ability to get ahead.
With him, too, he's got that nasty slider he can throw in the dirt here. You get ahead in the count.
Typically, if he gets ahead, it's party over.
He just threw cheese by him.
100 miles an hour right there. Just letting it fly.
We're not going with the second option, he said. Right?
No, here it is. Above the belt, hits the glove. Well executed.
There's another guy when we're talking about that bullpen coming together. If he can mature and locate and get ahead in counts.
Yep.
Nasty left-hander.
Yeah. And better arms in the game.
So the Yankees have struck out 5 straight hitters. Trey Amberge's played the entire game. Rather rare this time of the year. We were talking about what made Eddie so great and the clutch and all that. And just got a note from Jim Palmer. He says the reason Eddie was such a good clutch hitter, Eddie Lytics. He was ahead of the time. So smart, intuitive, seemed to know what was coming. And that's obviously part of it, right? You got the great hitting schools, but then there's the mental work, anticipation,
that's it.
Being in spots and knowing the opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. Studying your opponent. you know, and so much of these players' craft goes into that. Just studying the opponent, understanding what they're going to flip up there, the tendencies, and it's just even nowadays there's more to it. I mean, you can get just about anything you want on an opponent.
2-1 check swing. Sound like off the mask or helmet. Austin wins. He took a look at it, make sure it wasn't cracked. Ooh, right off the top.
Oh, man. Shake it off a little bit.
So a chance for 6 straight strikeouts. Sulser struck out the side in the 8th. Tanner Scott's a strike away now of doing the same thing. 2-2 to Amberge. Got him. Pretty impressive. Tanner Scott comes in and just gasses the Yankees. Bottom of the 9th coming up.
Rosa, another minor league arm here, AA, AAA last season. 25 games, 13 starts, getting with 9 wins, a 418 earned run average. Not as much of a power arm with the 88 punch-outs in 103 innings. Those with still a few veteran players coming up.
He's the 7th pitcher of the afternoon for the Yankees. Clark Schmidt started, pitched into the 3rd inning. Abreu followed, went 2 innings. Here's Stevie Wilkerson. Orioles need a run to win the game. Lockridge is in center field now for the Yankees. Down even at 1-1. Well, Stevie Wilkerson, Mike, another guy fighting for a roster spot, right? Offers the flexibility, can play infield and outfield.
Yeah, super utility for sure. Spent a couple times over at third base here in spring training, primarily second, played a little first, some outfield as well. Got to find a little bit more consistency with the bat, both sides.
Maybe made the play of the year on the final day of the year, right? That catch at Fenway Park where he went over the wall.
I'm still amazed. Yeah, that was an incredible play. And that he came out smiling as well. Yeah, you know, didn't come down hurt. That was impressive.
Got fisted. And pops it right in front of the Yankee dugout.
Wilkerson, the right kind of attitude, a very confident young man. Really believes he belongs right here in the big leagues.
2-2 pitch. Now it's full. Adonis Rosa on the hill for the Yankees, 7th pitcher of the day. Orioles have also used 7. Back-to-back striking out the sides for the Orioles. First it was Cole Sulser, and then Tanner Scott did it in the top of the 9th. 3-2 to Wilkerson. All back into the screen.
Good pass right there. Straight right on that baseball. Get in fight mode here. Don't put it in the hands of the umpire, that's for sure.
Slider down in the dirt, and the Orioles have the winning run on. Kyle Stowers, drafted by the Orioles last year. He's going to get a look here. Left-hand hitter. He's got some pop.
Signed out of Stanford, right?
So you know he's smart, Mike.
Yeah. Not smart enough to shave that mustache, though.
Winning run at first. Stowers takes a strike.
keep Stevie Wilkerson honest over there at first base. A couple pickoff attempts. That Steve's going to be straight stealing, but definitely looking for that ball in the dirt.
And that's a strike. So Rosa ahead in the count, 1-2. Nobody down. A winning run down at first base. Orioles and Yankees in a 5-5 tie. Fought it off. Russo with the 1-2 pitch. Ball back out of play. Cal Stowers, number 96. Playing college baseball at this time last year.
Right. How about it?
Now he's going against the New York Yankees. Think the heart's beating a little bit?
Absolutely.
Breaking ball, and he got him looking.
I think he was looking for the nasty breaking ball, and they threw the floater up there. Hooked that back door. That foot down, drifted forward just a hair. Steal strike 3.
So that'll bring up Taylor Davis. He came on for Chris Davis. Another good productive game for Chris Davis. RBI base hit in the first inning and then walked in the third, walked in the fifth. Taylor Davis walked in the 7th inning. Oop, check swing, fouls it back.
Underwater hack right there by Taylor Davis. Seems like every time he's in a ball game, though, he does something good, whether it be a defensive play or come up with a big hit. A big opportunity right now.
Adonis Rosa from the belt. Back out of play. And he's ahead 0-2. See that 37 and Davis on there. Is that Glenn Davis's number? Taking me back.
I think we were allowed to say that.
That was a while ago. Breaking ball. This could be 2. The second for 1. Back to first. It's a double play. And I think we've had ourselves an afternoon of baseball. Let's make sure nobody comes out. But I think that's going to do it. You know, umpires are leaving the field. I think we got another tie ball game, Bordy. We're getting pretty good at these.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I've done 3 games. I've got 2 ties and a win. I'm undefeated. All right, 2 hours and 49 minutes of baseball, and the Orioles and Yankees play to a 5-5 tie. Join us again Friday. The Orioles take on the Blue Jays. Coverage on Masson begins at 1 o'clock. Today's telecast has been a Masson presentation. 5-5 the final score today. For Mike Bordick, this is Scott Garceau. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.